10:30.
Yeah, we starting now. Starting right now. Getting ready for it. All right, here we go. Thank you, Jesus.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good morning, Carla. Oh,
Hi,
I'm
how are
the
you?
one that's lagging. Let me do it like this. Okay, now you. Hello, Carla. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. All right.
How's your morning been so far?
So far, so good. I missed your last meetings. I had a conflict in my schedule. I do some volunteer work at a local church, and it's on Saturday morning. So,
Hey,
um,
that's all good.
mhm.
It's good. Those are priorities, you know, and that's what we have these meetings for, where we can record them and let you see it. So let me
Right.
see.
I'm
I
not
got
the most
people-
computer
wait,
savvy
I got
person,
more
so
people
I
I gotta
didn't
let
get
in.
to.
Okay,
Okay.
here they all come. Hello, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Okay. I think I'm in.
Mhm. Okay, looks like we're getting this meeting kicked off. Got a few people here, and let's see.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, let's have a
Morning.
mic check.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're good. We are good. All right, let's see what's going on. Okay. All right, Carla.
Yes.
Carla, we can barely see you. You know,
I don't know. It's always dark.
Is there any way you can lighten it up a little bit
Well, let's see.
Flanagan, you're a little, your visuals are a little
A little
dark
bit
too.
better.
Just take your time and see what you can do. And
Carla?
as long as we have your
Close your blinds in the back, the lights behind your head. Put the light in front of you. Turn
Okay.
up, get it dark in the back. I'm the captain, you know.
we know
Well, that helped a little bit.
Oh, you need a light in the front of your face.
I only have one light in here, the light for the room.
Well, that's good then. You know, I was just
No, you can see you.
Pull your screen down.
giving the heads up. Go on.
Yeah, the screen needs to come down some.
Lower the top of the
Sorry?
screen. Lower your computer screen down so you can see your face. I'm seeing more.
Let's see.
Just pull it down.
I don't know how to do that. It's not.
No, just little. Put your hand on your computer and pull it tab down. Pull it down.
I don't have a tab on I don't have a tab to pull down.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you're in trouble. You need to sit on a book.
Okay. Where's my dictionary? Okay. I don't know. I don't have anything handy here. I'll just have to sit taller.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. That's better for we got Jamie. That's cool. We just got Flanagan and Carla, but as long as you're here, you know, we can see you.
And
This is
T.
part of the
T.
process.
Hi, T.
Hello, how are you this morning?
I'm good.
How you
Hi,
doing?
T.
You're very dark. Hi, Margaret.
Hi.
Hey,
T, you're very dark. I can't see your face
Okay, I have to put my light behind my,
in the front of your face.
yeah.
I'm running this show, huh? I'm sorry.
You're doing good, Glennie. You're doing good.
as long as it's constructive criticism, it's okay.
You know,
Hi, how are you?
like in Hollywood, this is like being like in Hollywood, this is like being in the green room, and you know, and Captain Glennie, she's handling it, getting y'all coordinated for the show.
I have no idea.
It's pretty
I
cool.
That
Cecile,
better?
work her up. Cecile.
Glenna?
Oh, Cecile's not here. Where is Cecile?
Glenna,
Uh-huh.
is that better?
That's better, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And Miranda, you need to lift your head up or pull your screen down.
I hear him say,
Miranda.
have your screen like you're looking in a mirror. You know, when you're in a mirror, you want to make sure you have everything sharp, just like you're looking in a mirror.
Yeah. Miranda, can you hear us? Maybe I'm not pronouncing the name right. I think she's on mute.
Murata, she's not connected yet.
Oh,
Her audio or her video.
Lisa, you're perfect.
Thank you.
Oh, did you get in, Lisa?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Paula, you're going further and further down in the hole.
Oh, maybe if I change chairs.
Yeah. And Mr. Otis, you almost, I got your head, but there you go.
How are you seeing all these people? I don't see anybody.
I
But
got
the
everybody.
person-
I helped a little bit.
Put it
That's
on
better,
gallery
Carla.
view.
Huh?
Ms. Lewis,
Uh-huh.
put it on gallery view. You'll see it.
In the upper right-hand corner.
Up in the right, no, it's the left-hand corner on mine. I have an iPad.
Hi, G.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to see you. Hi, Tony. Wait a minute.
You have to be in here before they can see you. Let me see.
We lost all the men almost.
Share screen.
Where is Denise? Is she not here?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, she's there.
Denise is
Oh, I'm
there.
sorry. Sorry. Didn't see you down there. This is so much easier than driving how many miles to get to us, right? You
Mhm.
can just click a switch and we're right there.
And I was thinking, one good thing about this, we don't have to have the mask on today.
That's true.
The only time you don't wear a mask.
Well, as the eagle flies, God has blessed us with another day and another opportunity to meet and to move forward as a group. And it's really good that everybody is up and you're learning this new technology. And if we got to use this technology, we're going to use it. We're not going to let anything come between us. And we have a support systems that helps us learn about this program, the Zoom program. And I'm available to help you. And we want you to get familiar with it and be able to utilize it to connect with, family members, friends, going forward. So let's keep this going, keep the momentum. Like that slave owner separated us and our families were scattered all across the world. But God is the one who's bringing us back together where we can communicate and use the technology to come together as a family. And not only that, come together more solidly. With that, with the people who we have here, we're going to start with some brief introductions, and then I'm going to turn it over to our president, and she's going to conduct the meeting according to the agenda. And the reason why I recommend having a brief introduction. Some people haven't been familiar with each other, and now we get an opportunity to meet each other. And for those who aren't here at the meeting, they will get the recording, and they'll be able to, connect with you, going forward in the future. So I prefer that you have a brief introductory speech about yourself and what it means to be in this group. And I'll give you an example. My name is Jerry Moss, Senior. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. And I have been out in California for like 40 years. Had a job opportunity and had a friend who played pro football, a close friend of mine. And we were able to get together, and I came out in the civil engineering and design field, and been able to work in that profession for a number of years before I retired. But I always called it a working retirement. When I came from Omaha to here, it's been like a working retirement for me. So and then my uncle was the family historian, and there was a reunion out here in California, and he asked me, hey, could I attend it? And I did, and that's where I met some of my relatives on my grandmother's side. And then, that was so, to see how they all look similar, the certain family, the heritage, the DNA, it's very similar. That being said, he passed that torch to me, and I'm so honored to have it. But I say this, it has a lot, like a beautiful flower, a rose garden, a rose flower. When it blooms, it's beautiful. But roses have thorns. And this experience, there's been a lot of thorns in this research business. But see, God is a messenger. He's the he's the source, and I'm the messenger. So I have to give some information to some of my family members who quite frankly, they didn't want to hear it, but the truth can't be hidden. So let's move on to Don Graves.
This is Marva. I'm representing Don. He's in the other room right now. Donald and Marva Graves. And we're in San Diego, California, by way of Oklahoma, where we were born and raised. And Don and I are both the historians on both sides of our families. And we've gone back to at least 7 generations in our research. And the names that we're looking for are Grams, Glass, Washington, Hill, Graves, of course, and Barr. And we are in the middle of updating our database right now. I think we have something like 35 or 3,600 names. And so that's what we're working on right now. I am doing a lot of research, or have, through the 5 civilized tribes. And on my maternal side is the Choctaw, and maternal side. And then my paternal side is the Cherokee. And my sisters and I are now members of the Cherokee Nation through the research that I was able to do.
Awesome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to go to Carla and then Flanagan, so you can halfway prepare. So Carla first, Carla Pierce.
Yes, I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. Mother born in Tennessee. Grandparents immigrated to Tennessee from Jamaica in 1913, and my grandfather in 1916. They met up there and married. My father side of the family took me a while to research. I don't know that side of the family very well. There was a divorce and my mother remarried. So I'm just getting used to getting some basic information about my birth father's side of the family. He was from Kentucky, and just trying to get some information about him and his father and mother, and sharing just basic things like photograph about what these people did. Found out that there are a number of morticians in the family. I thought I knew them all, but that there's more on that side. And also people, a grandmother who was apparently very vivacious and daring. So I think all of us have those stories about some brave things that people did back in the day when Black folks weren't supposed to do certain things. So I've been kind of frustrated trying to look into my Jamaican side. My grandmother never talked about it. I just had a chance to briefly talk to her just before she passed on. And so I have a few things. I've been able to contact a few people on the computer, but haven't been able to get that side of the family to really open up to me. So I'm still working on that.
Well, thank you for that story. T. Flanagan, and then we're going to do Jeannie. Flanagan?
I'm looking for Barners on my grandfather's side. And I was able, well, for a long time, I couldn't get out of Copiah County. Then I was able to go to a reunion and met more Barners in South Carolina. And I'm still working with that group to find more.
Well, this is my first time seeing you. Could you tell me a little bit more about yourself, please?
I'm a retired school teacher. I taught in the San Diego Unified School District for 26 years. But I had taught in Mississippi before I came to San Diego. I got to San Diego through Arizona. Got my master's degree at Arizona State University. And when I left there, I came to San Diego and started working with the San Diego Unified School District. And I retired from the district in 1996.
That's awesome.
So I've been retired a long time.
You see how people they're humble about telling who they are and what they've accomplished. They're humble about it. But hey, thank you. Now I know who you are, and I know some of your talents, and that's what it is. We want to share what we have, and this is the format. We're family. Okay, Jeannie, let's go. You have your microphone muted. It's over there.
Talking Jean?
Yeah, Jean.
Am I?
Yeah, you're good now.
Hey, I'm Jean Young, and I'm from Boise, Idaho. Actually, I was born in Seattle, but my family went back to Idaho when I was 4 months old. And I've been doing genealogy, I say before roots, but I really should say since I was 4 years old, because we lived with my grandparents for a while, and they would always talk, and then after they were sitting at the table, and they would talk about the family that came from St. Genevieve, Missouri. So I can remember sitting there at 4 years old with my mouth hanging open, listening to all of these Francois Constance and all of these names and things, people that were from, their home. I've lived in San Diego for 40 years, I guess. And I am lucky enough to have some younger family members who have taken over the task of researching the family, so I don't do as much anymore as I used to. They are really good at it. I had all the information and I gave it all to them, and they took it even farther. So, but I'm very happy to be here with the genealogy.
Thank you, Jean. I wanna share a story about her family. Jean, Tony Young, is Tony Young your son?
Yes, my name is Jean.
Pardon me?
My name
Okay,
is
here's
Jean.
what we're gonna have to do. Everybody else who is not, because somebody has a microphone that is, you have to mute your mic. Mute your mic, because there's some, we're getting some background information. Mute your mic, please. And we'll see which one that is. Because I can mute them all. All right. Did y'all see what happened at that exercise? Everybody? Now we're clear?
Mhm.
Well, Gene, your son, Tony Young, he was a city councilman, correct?
Yes,
And
yes.
and projects that are built throughout the city, they start years before you actually see them. And your son, Tony, Councilman Tony, he was one of the members who worked and put all kinds of effort in for the Skyline Hills Branch Library to be built. And what happens is, politically speaking, while he was on council, he agreed with a couple of other councilmen to have their libraries built north of the 8. They have some phenomenal libraries built north of the 8. But in order to get his vote, he stood up and he stood strong for our community. And so when it came down for us having a library, he is the one that got the council members and to vote for the Skylines Hill Branch Library. And since then, Councilman Marty, there was a councilwoman who, Murder Cole, she took over. And so while the project was being built, because I was on the project, I was the general contractor, my company in Barnhart, Black IPO and Barnhart Construction. Myrtle Cole was a council member that was the council member during the construction. So what I just want to acknowledge you and let you know, politics, it happens earlier from when you see these structures. And I want to give Tony Young and you credit for that brand new Taj Mahal library and Skyline Hills Branch Library. Okay, Captain Glennie.
I thought it was going to be last.
You're next,
I'm
and then
preparing.
you're
Hi,
next, and then
I'm so glad to see you guys.
you're next, and
My
then
name is
Donise.
Galeni. I'm sorry.
You're next, and then Donise.
Oh, okay. My name is Galeni Hines. I'm originally from Batesville, Mississippi, Panola County. I am researching Avant, Booth, Carter's, Draper's, Graham, Henderson, Irby, James, Thomas, Rivers, Williams, Jerners, and Johnson. And after 3 years of attending Mississippi Valley State, I moved to Maryland, from there to New Jersey, to Texas, to Maryland, and came here in 2000.
Wow.
And no, we're not military. Most people think we're military because we move so much. But I enjoyed researching, but I've been at a standstill for a while. And through DNA, I have met some family that I didn't know about just recently. They actually were daughters of a cousin that I had been told might have been dead. So this is very exciting news. So never give up. You never know what you're going to find when you do research. And I'm going to keep this short because, like we said, we need to have some big business today, right, Margaret? Margaret. Anyway,
Thank
I'm
you,
done.
Sheila, for your-
Donice, please.
Say what?
Donice.
Hi, I'm Donice, and I'll tell you a little more about my family later. So I'm just going to tell you about myself. I live up in Lake Elsinore. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I live up in Lake Elsinore, so this is really nice not have to drive down to San Diego today. I am a retired teacher. I taught math and science. I've lived in the Los Angeles area since I was 6 months old. I was born in Texas. My dad was in the Army. And then I've lived in this area all this time. So I've been doing genealogy for about 3 decades. In the last decade, I've been retired. So I've really been able to really concentrate on it. And so I'll tell you more about my family later.
Thank you. Let's go with Lisa. And then Cecile. Lisa, on mic here. Turn your mic off. On. Lisa, turn your mic on. There you go.
Am I next?
Yes.
Good morning. I'm Lisa. I've been with the group for a while. Haven't been an active participant due to different reasons. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. My family originates from Mississippi, my mother's side and my dad's side in Arkansas. I'm researching the Goolsbys, the Carters, the Penningtons from Arkansas and North Carolina, and the Hobbs, the Hudsons, the Moores, and Andersons from Mississippi on my grandmother's side of the family. I've been doing this a long time. I've got a lot of stories from my grandmother. My family meets for family reunions every 2 years, and it's always a big gathering of people sharing stories and having a good time. I won't take up all the time this morning talking because I can talk about genealogy a long time.
Thank you. At one point, you'll probably be part of one of the presentations that we have. Okay, Cecile.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
See you all. Happy birthday, Lisa.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. That's
Happy
awesome.
birthday. Anyway, I'm originally from Georgia, a little town called Glenn at one time, which is now called Franklin, Georgia, and that is in Heard County. But I was raised right next door in LaGrange, Troup County, Georgia. My parents, my grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, which is as far as I have been able to go, all in the Heard County area. And then, you know, when they do redo the borders or whatever, and they break some of the counties up. So we were those 2 counties, Heard and Troup. My research is from my mother's side, the Strickland, Person, Thomas, Garrett. Those are my major ones. And from my dad's side, it's the Brewer, Jackson, Glenn, Barrett's. And on one of my sides, I'm finding out on the Thomas side, which was my grandmother's side. A lot of them was from Alabama, and I really didn't know that. But I've hit a standstill also. I did get some new DNA, a new DNA relative as of yesterday, and it's showing us to be about 3rd or 4th cousins, but she only had 3 people in her tree, and that was her mom, and her dad. So I'm seeing that we are related from the person's side, but I have no idea how. And I have some of my DNA relatives where we are like 1st, 2nd cousins, and we're all from that same Heard County area, but I have not been able to make any sense of how we could be that related. And
can't find our common ancestor. But that's about it for me. I came to San Diego in 1967. My husband was in the military. He was in the Navy. So that's how I made it to San Diego.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you. We're going to go Otis, Miranda, and Esther. Otis.
Otis Renford, researching from Georgia, the Renfords, Clarks, Moss, Tinsley, Rutherford, and several others, all from the Georgia area. But obviously they got to Georgia via some other circuitous route. I've been doing this for a little less than 10 years. I didn't get really interested until my father passed away. And he took with him all the knowledge that I wish I had about the family. So it's been sort of difficult putting it all back together. But I'm moving on, and things are looking pretty good.
Thanks for that story. Miranda?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I had some technical difficulties this morning trying to get in on my computer. For some reason, the audio wasn't working, so I'm on my cell phone and I've got that plugged in because it's dying. But I just wanted to say that, let's see, I was born in Illinois, and I've lived in Georgia, Mississippi, Washington, D.C., and then out here in California. I've been here about 30 years. I started genealogy research, one, because on either side of my family, I've never been to a family reunion. My father's side, they just really didn't have them. That was a much smaller side of my family. My mother's side, they had them, but it was mostly the folks that lived back in the South and back East. So I just never got an opportunity to go. Other than that, you know, I just really enjoy it. I have connected with some family members from my Virginia side. The areas that I'm researching are, oh goodness, Georgia, Florida, Virginia, last names Williams, Milton. And then as far as my father's side, there's Hazard, Perry, and those are from Rhode Island. And then Brown, Brownfield, and McCain from South Carolina.
Thank you. Esther?
You're welcome.
Okay, my name is Esther White. I'm a native Californian. I was born in Los Angeles. Left after I married. I moved to Connecticut for 3 years and then back to California, but to San Diego in '62. So I've been here ever since. I'm researching Hamlin, Jimson, Booker, and Vaden, and they were similar. They followed the crops, and mainly from Texas, Oklahoma, then to Imperial Valley, Los Angeles, and scattered all around. And I'm enjoying genealogy. My older sister and I were both interested, and I remember her telling me one time she was going to get the telephone book and look up all the Hamlins and call them and see if we were related. And I said, don't do that. Don't do that. So I just had that interest. So before I retired, I started gathering dates for my immediate family, paternal and maternal. And it just blossomed. And then I found the genealogy group, and it's helped me a lot. And I worked for Naval Medical Center for the government, 36 years, 33 of them at the Naval Medical Center. And enjoyed my work there. That was a good place to work.
In Balboa Park?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I was there 33 years. I started as a GS3 clerk typist, and I ended up as a department head of statistics at the Naval Medical Center.
That's awesome.
So I had a good career. I never left because I always had opportunities to move up.
Okay, Madam President, showtime.
This is who's on.
Unmute your mic, please.
You can do. You can do, Cal.
See everybody.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Margaret Lewis, born and raised in San Diego, California. I got interested in genealogy years ago when my father was doing family research, and the principal at the school that I was working at the time was doing family research. My father had told me that everybody was telling me I should get started. And the oldest living relative on my mother's side of the family was coming to visit me. And my father came and done a interview on him. And when I heard the tape, the story that I heard got me really excited about looking at my family tree. So that next day, my father took me to the Family Research Center. And during that time, it was on 10th Avenue. And when he got ready to leave, I said, no, I can't leave. I'm finding stuff. So he said, well, I'm going home. So he brought me home. I got my car and went back down there, and I've been hooked ever since.
That's great.
So,
Out of transparency, I received a call last night from Marcia, and she was prepared to be here, and she's not. So let's pray for her. And Yvette, she got the invitation, and we was expecting her. So with that being said, Marty, you can start your meeting.
okay. I'm going to call the meeting to order. One of the things that is missing are the minutes. Marcy had took the minutes, and I was talking to her last night too when she had some kind of emergency come up. So we don't have the minutes. So when I get them, I will email them to everybody.
Okay.
What else was I going to say? So I'm going to go down to Carla. Do you have anything to report, Carla? Any
No.
sick members or anything? Oh,
No, I don't.
okay. I had sent out an email too, but it seems like everybody's not getting my emails. But Richard Kelly, who was a longtime member of the group, his wife, Carrie, Richard died some years ago, but Carrie, I guess she was talking to Glennie and let us know that her daughter died. So anyway, I did post the address if anybody wanted to send cards of condolences.
Yeah,
to
I
Carrie.
forgot about that, Marty. I did send a condolence letter to the family. I did get that out.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Marcy. Marty. Uh-huh. While we're talking and Carla is there, I don't think we ever established this, but I think that we should have a fund. Well, maybe Carla doesn't know that we have reimbursement forms. And since she buys all the cards to be sent, so she can get reimbursed.
Okay.
So Carla, all you do is keep all your, and then we do have a reimbursement form.
Okay. Well, thank you for letting me know. And it was nothing for me to do. For those of you who haven't been to Dollar Tree, they have the best cards and they're only $1.
That's where I shop.
Okay. And they're nice cards.
Margaret, I did send
Yes.
flowers to Miss Kelly, and I put my name and the group's name on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll be back with you on that too. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, like I said, Marcy had some kind of emergency last night when I was talking to her about the minutes and everything. So we will send those out. Cecile, do you have a report? Nothing has changed from the last meeting. There's not been any transactions, and our balance is still $1,083.04. Okay. I'm gonna go on down to new business. Black History events. We talked about that last month for when February comes up. If things aren't open up, that we could do our Black History event if people are willing to do what we did this past year. And that was just the group sharing their family research. Anyway, I'll start emailing to see if anybody's interested in doing that, and we could do it right here on Zoom.
just different members present their family research that they have done, like we did a couple of months ago at the Family Research Center. So I'm going to be looking for volunteers for that. Okay, the elections people are volunteering, so I'll let you know what we have so far. Recording secretary, Carla, volunteered to continue that. No, I'm sorry. Corresponding secretary, Carla, volunteered to continue that. Treasurer, Cecile volunteered. Marcy for membership. Newspaper editor, Marva Graves, and Marcy volunteered to help you with that in any way she can. She was a former newsletter editor. And for our historian, Miranda and Glennie are going to be working together. What we have open, we only have 2 positions open. We have the recording secretary open. So if anybody's want to do that, let me know. And we have the president open. And I think everybody's kind of shying away with that. So if nobody wants to, nobody wants to do that, I'll volunteer to do that again.
Madam President?
Yes.
This is Marva, and I would like to move that we accept Marty Lewis as the president by acclamation.
T. Flanagan, I second the motion.
Okay, I'm willing to do it, and I'm willing, and Vice President, I'm sorry, Donise. And Donise was kind of hesitant, but I told her that, we could work together, and she'll be okay. So the only thing we're looking for now is a recording secretary. So if anybody want to jump in.
Madam President.
Yes.
We want to have a brief discussion on the vice president. This is out of transparency. The way this whole process has been, we have all had input. There's been a lot of things been, talked about behind closed doors, as we be quite frank about it. But I agree with your pick, but let's do it formally. Let the members vote on Donnie's being the vice president, please.
Well, we're not going to vote today. Because we still have things open. What we're going to do in December, we're going to vote on it. And then, because everybody that even people that are volunteer to continue on, we have to vote on them too.
Right.
So we're going to do that, and we're going to do that next month.
Okay.
And then in January.
I was just wondering about the procedures. I just wondered about the procedures.
Oh, okay. No, we're not going to vote today. We're going to, next month, we're going to do that. And then in January, that's when the new officers will take their positions.
Why not?
I'm sorry?
Why not? Why not get this out of the way this month? That's my understanding. We're getting this out of the way this month, and then we can move on to, conduct some business and move forward.
Okay, for one reason, they're not going to take office until January anyway. So we still have a month to try to hunt for somebody to take recording secretary. I mean, do you guys want to just go on and vote on that, and then we just try to fill that other position? Because actually, they don't take office until January.
Can I make a comment or two here?
Yes.
Want to go back at least one step. There was a motion put on the floor to make Marty president by acclamation. That motion was seconded. And generally, when you put a motion on the floor and someone seconds it, that motion goes to discussion. And then that motion has to be voted on by the group before any other business is conducted. You need to clear a motion off the floor before you discuss anything else. That's if you're trying to follow procedure. If you don't want to follow procedure, ignore what I just said. The second part is that I was under the impression, like Jerry, that we were going to, I'm probably getting ahead of myself. I guess what I expected was a nominating committee to put forth a slate of people that we could vote on now, at least get the slate together now, vote December, install January. I thought that was the path we were on from our discussion at the last meeting. Am I wrong on that?
I'm sorry. Otis?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, I thought I missed something.
No,
Uh,
I can
okay.
repeat that last part
No,
again.
no, no, no. Okay, no, I think I heard you. I didn't know you were finished. Okay, what I had put an email out to, we're a small group and it was only the executive board was only 2 or 3 members. So I had put a thing out there that things would probably be different because we didn't have a real big group to put the idea that if somebody wanted to volunteer for these positions and stuff, but it's not like we had 5 different people that, you know, were volunteering. In fact, you know, just 1 or 2. Actually, the historian is the only one that, you know, 2 people, actually it was 3, but I talked 1 into taking another position. But that's what, we could open up the discussion for the nomination for the president, or if you guys want to vote today, I mean, you know, we could do that too. But, you know.
Let me reiterate, I am not saying you need to vote today. That's not what I said. What I expected, what I was sort of anticipating today was a slate of officers. That is a list of the positions that are open, who is willing to handle those, plus leave space for write-ins for if you wanted, somebody wanted to put in somebody or recommend somebody else for one of those positions. From that list or from that slate of candidates, we would have until sometime in December, two weeks from now, to look at that. And when you meet in December, you cast your ballot.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I thought that I had said. That the people that I presented that said that they were volunteer, and like I said, that the people that are extending their position, we would vote on them. That's what I thought I had said. Maybe I'm not making myself clear. And then we would vote in December.
Madam President?
Yes.
This exercise that we've just witnessed, it's interesting. Number one, we have a parliamentarian in Otis. Those are the parliamentary rules of order. Now, that being said, from where we were to where we are now, this train is smoking down the track. And we're filling in different positions. And this is you know, we're not going to be pulling rabbits out of the hat between now and December. But you have done a great job of organizing and a lot of pressure. We have people who have volunteered for positions. And in order to expedite the process, from what you've done, and like Otis had said, they nominated you for president. At this meeting, we can vote on that and then go right on through the other people who have agreed and go right through those steps and let us vote on them today. And then if we don't have anybody else, we'll get that squared away, you know, the next meeting. But we can move forward. That's my recommendation. I recommend that we vote on everybody who's volunteered, who wants to be a part of this here team. Let's get them in office right now.
Two comments. If I'm going to, not saying I will, but if I'm going to act as a parliamentarian, we still have the motion for Marty to be made president as an open item. That would need to be closed before we move on to anything else. Second thing is, Jerry, what you just suggested would also have to be put forth as a motion. Someone would need to second it. It would need to be discussed, then voted on.
Oh, is there any other discussion on this?
Oh, the historians positions are not an elected position, right? Remember? We did not, Milton and I were not like part of the regular election. It's like a volunteer position. So we don't have to, you don't have to vote for me for this position. But I'm glad Mr. Otis knows what he's talking about, because we need someone that really knows the official way to do it. And I was concerned about it because I didn't recall what we were supposed to do. And I was thinking Mr. Otis should be voted on as the parliamentarian. We have to do that first before he accepts it, or whether he's not going to accept, right? Mr. Otis, I can't hear you. Somebody.
I have a question. This is Marva. So are you saying the parliamentarian position would be a new position created as of today?
Yes. We never had one before.
What do your bylaws say about that? What do your bylaws say about that?
Good question. And that's the other thing. Margaret, you have the bylaws?
You know what? Remember my computer went down, and I just haven't had the time to go and have it fixed. All my stuff is in my old computer, and
I have the bylaws here. I could scan them and send them out to everybody.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm not sure if because we had some updates, and I don't know if everything is updated on here.
Okay,
but I can send them.
Captain, on your point,
Yeah.
just to follow up, we're having this discussion. Just like your position is like an honor position, what kind of position is that? Not voted upon? Is that right?
Right.
Can that, Otis, can that position, your position be the same? Or does it have to be official office?
No, it doesn't have to be. From what I recall, it doesn't have to be voted on.
Okay, well, we'll put you under that umbrella. So he's covered. Now who's next? Donnice. First of all, we got to vote for the president, right? And somebody did make a motion for her to be president, didn't they? Wasn't that you?
Yes, the motion was put forth, and it was seconded that Marty be made president again.
And so it is the Madam President's responsibility to call for a vote on that, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so if we're going to vote on that, we're going to vote if I'm elected president again. If all those in favor?
Aye.
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 All that opposed? Okay, I guess I'm president again.
Your motion carries.
Okay, well, somebody,
It's speech. No. All right, but now next order of business, I make a motion for Donnice to be the vice president.
I second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose?
Point of order.
Yes. Go on, Otis.
That's something you don't vote on immediately. My point of order is that if you can, it's okay that we did that, that you did that, but truly what you're supposed to do is open the floor for discussion on the item. If there is
Okay.
no discussion, you can vote on it. So all that to say, all you need to do, Marty, is say discussion.
Discussion? Is there any discussion?
She's awesome.
No?
She's awesome. She has some real interesting presentations, and I want to. She has a lot on her plate, and that's how it is with winners and positive people. We have a lot to do, and we just get more and more and more. So let's give her more stuff to do.
I think Marty has the experience and the expertise to run the group. We're a small group, and just given what I've seen of her work, I'd like to see her continue if she's willing to do that.
We're past that one. We're on Denise.
Okay, well, since we voted on that, you guys want to just go on and just vote on the whole slate down the line?
As a parliamentarian,
Get it
wait a minute,
over
you
with.
jumping in some
If we
deep water
can.
there,
Is
Marty.
that right,
Aren't
Mr.
you
Otis?
learning, Marty? Aren't you learning? Check with our parliamentarian.
Let me reiterate. I know a lot about parliamentary procedure. I've been in numerous groups where I had to do this stuff.
Good.
We need it.
But there is nothing to say. There is nothing that says we have to run this group by those rules. That's why I said earlier, if we're going to follow procedure, it's nice. If you don't want to follow procedure, as long as everything is under control, that's okay too. I'm not trying to force you to do all this stuff, okay?
No, I know that. And you know what, in the past, Marcy had been like our spokesperson, like our parliamentarian.
She's
Marcy
on.
I'm sorry?
Margaret, she's here.
Oh, Marcy's here?
She's coming in.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She's connecting our audio. So the message was like, we had a discussion on Donese, and so that's, am I right? We did have a discussion on her. So now, Marty, you can ask for a vote for her. For Donese, Vice President.
Okay, I thought we just did. Is okay, the floor is open. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of Donese being our vice president?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
What I told her to do.
All that oppose? Okay.
Can I join in here?
Yes.
This is Marcy. I finally got in.
Okay.
Morning.
Good
Good morning.
And,
You okay?
yeah, I finally got in. My great granddaughter had to help me.
Okay.
For Margaret, for Donnie's, yes.
Okay. All that oppose? Nay. Okay. So, corresponding secretary, Carla volunteered to continue with that role. So, any discussion? All in favor of Carla being our correspondent secretary?
Aye.
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 Anybody to oppose? Okay, we're going down to the treasurer, which is Cecile, and she's continuing her role as the treasurer. And any discussion? All in favor of Cecile being our treasurer? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I have a question.
Okay.
Margaret,
Mhm.
isn't that something in the bylaws about when an officer has been previously in this position for several times, that you have to change the bylaws, vote on the bylaws, because it's stated in the bylaws that you serve only 2 years? Don't we have to do something specific with that, parliamentarian Otis?
If your bylaws state, as you just said, yes, you have to do something. One of the ways, one of the things that you can do is allow for rotation of position. If you have an active body and you want that body to be the active body, or if the group is small and you don't have people that are interested in doing the tasks that need to be done, you can have sort of automatically a VP moving into a presidential position. You can have a secretary move up to treasurer, have a corresponding secretary move up to secretary, sort of almost an automatic rotation process. That's one way to get around it. But yes, if it's in your bylaws that you can only serve for 2 years and someone has been in longer than that, either your bylaws change or you set up a different procedure for accomplishing what you need to accomplish.
So we probably need to do some changes in the bylaws then, because we are having this a lot, right, Margaret? We need to change it.
Yeah, we do, and without, having the copy of the bylaws before us, because I know they were changed before when nobody else didn't want president and I extended it again. I
Yeah.
know it was changed before for that, but I don't know if it was changed for the other officers.
Yeah, I don't think we did. I don't think we did. Yeah.
Excuse me, in that last change of bylaws, I believe we addressed that, and I believe that we did have some discussion about whether to leave at any time a person had served in a position for more than the 2 years. I seem to remember that it was said or put in the bylaws that if that person wanted to stay in that position, they could. It wasn't quite worded like that, but I believe that's what was in the last bylaws.
Well,
that was what, about 4 years ago?
Maybe so.
Right about the time Felix left.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that was our
great.
last change of rules and bylaws. So
it seemed like it was only for the president. So if we have other officers that are repeating this, should we change the bylaws before we do the voting today?
No.
Well,
no.
Heck no.
Are we going to go through this whole slate?
No.
Go ahead and go through it, and then if it's different,
no.
do we change the laws later?
Yeah, we deal with the bylaws later. Let me tell you why. This is
I can't hear. You're muted.
okay.
Okay.
Let me calm down and address you, Captain Glennie. We are going through some steps, and this is a fluid situation, and we want to get a slate of people who are here that we can see, that we can vote on, and then once that slate gets, those officers get appointed to their position, elected to their positions, they can go through and deal with the paperwork and see what they can find from the computers and the rest. But all these hypotheticals, if what I thought, I can understand that to a certain degree, but we have to move on. We have to press on at this particular time. That's my comment.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Margaret,
Yes.
this is Esther.
Hi,
I'll,
Esther.
I'll volunteer for your open recording secretary. That's the only one open.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes. Thank you, Esther.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay.
I owe you lunch, Esther.
I know you don't. I owe you. I owe you a lunch already, remember?
So all of our offices have been filled.
Yes, yes.
Congratulations. And we have a parliamentarian.
Yeah.
That's great. Great job,
Who is that?
team.
Mr. Otis.
Okay. That's so and Marva Grace, she volunteered to do the newspaper, to be the newspaper editor. And
Yay.
Marcy volunteered to help her out because Marcy was a former newspaper editor. Historian Miranda and Glennie, and they're going to be the historians. Glennie and Milton done it, were the historian for years. They worked together, so we have two historians.
Remember, those are volunteers,
Yes.
not elected officers.
Yes.
Yeah, you weren't here when we just discussed it, Marcy.
Okay.
Okay, and Marcy, you wanted to continue on as chairperson, right?
I will unless somebody else wants to.
Membership. I said you volunteer for membership.
I said I will if nobody else wants it.
Okay.
But
Is
I
anybody?
think, is that not an elected position?
Yes.
Or is it a volunteer?
Elected, I think. It's got to be elected.
That's it, yeah.
In the, we have anybody else that's not doing anything in case they want to do the membership?
This is open. Is there anybody else who's interested in doing the membership? Well, Marcy.
Yeah.
Let's Where's Tommy? Is Tommy there?
No, I don't think so. I sent him a message on Facebook. I don't know. Last time he said he didn't get a message, so I sent it on Facebook.
Okay.
Okay.
Think he may be interested.
No,
Who, Tommy?
Tommy was the assistant membership, but I could never, our time slots never worked out.
Okay.
Did anybody want to hold that one up? Like Marcy said, if in case somebody else wanted it, or I don't know.
Madam President,
Yes.
this is Marva. And I don't think we should hold it up. I think Marcy's done a good job and I think she should continue. And we're going to be partners in crime on the editorial part. So if she needs backup, I would be willing to work with her on that since we're already going to be working together.
Yay.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's wonderful.
That's good. That's good, Marva.
Thank you, Marva.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay, so I listed everybody in their position. Does everybody in agreement, or is there any open discussion on what we just went over?
Maybe, can I have the list of officers again, please?
Sure. Margaret Lewis, President. Donnie Slay, Vice President. Esther White, Recording Secretary. I'm sorry, yeah, Recording Secretary. Responding Secretary, Carla. Treasurer, Cecile. Membership, Marcy. Newsletter, Martha and Marcy. Historians,
What's that first
oh,
name again for the new
Marva.
Marva
Marva?
Graves. Uh-huh.
How do you spell the last name? Reyes?
No, Graves. Graves.
Okay, got it. Okay.
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 Historian, Miranda and Glennie. Okay. So.
And Madam President, parliamentarian Otis.
Yes.
That Marcia Otis was added as our club parliamentarian. Okay, Marcia.
Yes.
Okay.
What? I'm here.
Otis was added as our club parliamentarian. He's on the list too. Otis Renford.
Okay. Is he also willing to add in that description, or should we have to wait until next time to vote that in? But we need a sergeant of arms to keep track of everybody when they're talking.
Sounds like Jerry.
Hey,
I think Jerry would be great at it.
I think we should get him a badge.
Oh, Glennie. Hey, Captain Glennie.
Oh, I left my hat, darn it. Where's my hat? I was gonna wear my hat today. Darn it.
Don't you wear that hat.
I am so. Yes, I am.
I'm trying to I'm gonna respectfully decline that position. I feel comfortable in the one that I'm technically supporting you in at this particular time.
Okay.
Well, you do it anyway.
I was gonna say you're already doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it anyway.
But I'm doing it virtually. Well, I like to see that's what you got to be able to take some hits when you're in this position, boy. Yeah, I love y'all though. But
Madam
anyway,
President.
go on.
If you want to fill that, I'll do it, set Sergeant at Arms.
Oh.
Okay.
Great.
Don't get angry with me when I tell you you're speaking out of order.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Good job, boys. Good job.
We're gonna get serious. Madam President. Hello.
Margaret, you're on mute.
Oh, I'm here. I'm sorry. Okay.
This is Marva, and I've never seen well, probably most of us haven't, the document that Glennie was referring to. Is it possible that we could get that distributed so we have time to peruse it?
Yes. She's gonna fax it or email it or whatever, and we'll make sure everybody gets a copy. And while we're talking about that, I sent out, I don't know how many is not getting my messages from Google, but it seems like there's still members who are not getting my messages. The last several messages that I sent out, I had to go each personal person and put their email address because I wanted to make sure everybody got it. And I think people still aren't getting it. Anyway, saying that to say that our Google account is going to cancel. They're closing Google's down.
You mean Yahoo?
And,
Yahoo.
yeah, oh, that's what I mean, Yahoo. I'm sorry. And Glennie had sent me a email, and it had other I can't even find it. Anyway, there's other sites that you could use that we use, like our Yahoo site. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with those or not, and if you would recommend one that we kind of look at to see how we would communicate as a group, like we're doing right now on Yahoo. I know there's a Google group that goes through Gmail, and I was going to kind of check that out. Is anybody familiar with any of the other sites that have group emails?
Some people said they use next door neighbors, but that to me is different. So I don't know if I want that.
Yeah, I think the next door neighbors is more like for the neighborhood, things that's going on in your neighborhood.
It is.
Yeah. The other one was what we already have is the Facebook group. We already have that.
Okay, well, what we could do, actually, the one on Facebook is for the friends of our group. What we could do is change that one back to the friends and then do one directly just for the people in our group.
Yeah.
Because that is a lot of outside people that just go to that site and stuff. But we could, but everybody would have to get on Facebook, and that would be, we could have that as a private group.
Right.
So we could do that. It depends. So what I'm going to do, if somebody else could help me kind of research some of these other, because I think it's like 3 or 4 altogether, and we come up with one that everybody would agree on, and we could start getting that together, because I have everybody's email address and stuff, and that way I could, put their information in, because I'm not sure how these groups work on email, if you would get how they would notify you that there's something there.
Well,
like if I wanted to send a message out to the group, do you have to check that site, or how would you know that there's a message there?
Yeah.
Madam President.
How many in the group are not on Facebook now?
I'm not.
We have a few that aren't. Because a lot of times I send, when I send a message on Facebook too, I like tag everybody that's in the group, and there's a few that aren't on Facebook right now. Because Lisa, is that how you got the message? Through Facebook?
Is Lisa still? You're on mute, Lisa.
Actually, I got the message, but I deleted it by mistake.
Oh, okay. Okay, because when I got your message on my telephone, I said, "Dog, she's not getting the message." I didn't know, because a lot of times I sent a testing out there for people to let me know, but a lot of people didn't respond back, so I don't really know who's not getting messages. So, okay.
Madam President,
Yes.
Otis had a question.
Okay.
No, I was just a comment. Whatever emails you're talking about, Robert, send me what you have. I'll be glad to go through it and give you my best shot at how to do it. The second part of what I want to say is you don't all need to be at the same email site to get emails. That when you send an email, wherever you send it is where it goes. So if I'm in Gmail and you're in Yahoo or you're in whatever, as long as that email address is correct when you send it, it'll get to wherever it's going.
Okay. Okay.
So, Madam President, what I heard there, there's some cooperation that this is very fundamental to our business, is communications, the link. And Otis, I will work with you on coming up with a group where we can have a group identify where we can send all the information out. From the time I started this, and talking with Marty and the different members, there has been a lack of communication. And before we can produce one of these videos, these Zoom meetings, I have to have correct email addresses. And some of them, they come back and say they're old, and then that's a person. So we have to, start from scratch, get a list of the emails, and then so we have to always be speaking the same language on who we're communicating with, back and forth. And quite frankly, some of the people we're sending that email out to, going forward, you need to address them and say, hey, do you still want to be a part of this? Do you still want us to send you emails? We need to have an active group of people who's going to participate and have a list, so that I don't like hearing the word I don't know. I don't know. When I hear that gives me alerts. We're gonna have to come up with some answers. So I will work with you, Otis, on coming up with a list with the president. So when we send something out, it's not like, hey, they're ignoring me. I didn't get it. Oh, boo-hoo. I mean, I'm done with all that. We got to stand up and communicate strong.
But there is something going on with Yahoo, because when Glennie didn't get a message and I went on there, Glennie's address is on there. Marcy didn't get a message. Marcy's address is on there. There was a person who gets our emails, told me to take them off the list. Their name's not on there.
Well, the things we can control, we control. The things we can't control, we can't. All I'm saying is we have to come up with the list and send it out. And that's another thing that I added on the the invite. If somebody's interested, if you know somebody's interested, let them know. And then we'll come up. We got to have a list that we can push buttons. I can't read minds, but I can set this production up, but I got to have cooperation.
Okay. That sounds good to me, because we need to get that together and get email addresses together. So if anybody changed their emails and stuff, they should let us know, because we get a lot of mail wasn't delivered, or somebody changed their email.
And that defeats the purpose. It takes a lot of effort to put these together. It really does. A lot of cooperation. Right. And every one of you have helped, or we wouldn't be sitting here having these conversations. Now we've seen each other, we can see the white of your eyes, and we're talking, and we're throwing arrows at each other, having fun. I like this.
Okay.
How you doing, Madam President?
Otis here. I'm gonna sort of act as Sergeant at Arms here for a little bit. We have slated this morning for Denise to give a presentation. If I remember correctly, she said it would take about an hour to do it. Time is approaching, it's 11:55. If we're gonna give her hour, she needs to start. I'm going to suggest that we wrap up this business meeting to give Denise her time.
Okay. And I was looking at the clock too.
I have a question real quick.
Okay.
Next month, Yahoo will be closed down as of December 12th or something like that. So we won't get to meet anymore like that. But for December, will we have anything that we don't have a luncheon, we can't meet together? Will we have a Christmassy something related in our next meeting? Something?
Send me ideas.
Okay. Okay. All right, that's it.
Okay, send me ideas. Okay, is there any other further business to discuss before we go into our presentation?
Just real quick, I had a question. When you say that Yahoo is shutting down or closing down, is that just for group messaging, or is that all together?
Yes, for group messaging.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I was going to say, I've got a lot of work to do then.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
They have already taken the pictures and everything off already. You notice that, Margaret?
You know what, Glennie? Actually, I haven't. I have so much stuff going on. I haven't been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we need to get in touch with the owner of it. What's his name? Bill Chapman?
Bill Chapman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I'll send him a message.
Okay. Donnie, so you ready to get started?
Yes, I'm ready to get started, but I understand that in my presentation, people have been sitting here too long. So why don't we like start at 12 o'clock and give people a chance to get up, go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, because I think people are gonna just fall over. So that's what I think.
Okay.
Just sitting there saying, oh, hello. I wanna.
Okay, so you guys have 2 minutes before 12. 2 minutes to get your water or your restroom break.
No. Which I've seen this happen before. You know, we have to have at least 5 to 10 minutes. Nothing like just turn on, turn off. You got to have at least 5 to 10 minutes break. You know, that I'm just talking about for production wise. You know, let people get up and like it'd be different if I was like 40 years old, but like I'm a little more senior. You know?
You're older than 40.
Give us 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
No, that's 2 minutes.
All right. Well, y'all go right ahead. I'm gonna take a break.
I move that the meeting have time out for the next 10 minutes for a break.
Okay.
Before.
Motion on the floor, any seconds?
Hey, you guys don't have to walk down the hall.
I gotta go get some lunch.
Some people are not gonna make it back. I can tell you that now.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
12 years old, 11 years old.
Approved or not? Margaret.
Oh, huh? I'm sorry.
There's a motion on the floor.
For what?
Take 10 minutes for a break.
Oh.
Too much trouble for me to get up.
They're already gone. I would say, shoot, you at home, they don't have to walk down the hallway.
Surgeries.
Okay.
But oh, that's cute.
What?
It's cute. Came in here to see what they're doing on this Zoom. They're supposed to start a presentation in just a minute. This girl is supposed to talk about. Right there. I'm looking. They froze. Somebody froze on there now. Marcy. Other name is Marcy. Anyway, I'm going to be the newsletter editor, and work with membership. And they don't know it yet, but I'm going to work on that historian group too. I didn't volunteer for anything else, but I always got my camera, and I've got pictures and stuff from the last 2 outings that we had before COVID, and I'm gonna go ahead and send that to them. Hold on, let me see what they're doing.
This is still recording, guys?
Yes, it is. It's recording.
Yeah. So should it stop for this minute?
Okay, well, anyway, let's see.
Jerry has to stop it. We can't do it.
But anyway, so we told him they may, not to elect the search, so he needs to be prepared.
But he can edit it out when he finishes it.
Okay.
People should probably mute their lines when they go on their breaks.
Hi, Carla.
I don't know if you have to be one, prepare meals and entertainment, all this kind of stuff. Or she's supposed to be cooking and stuff, which she don't. They eat out all the time still.
Well, if I had a real hard.
And make sure that the kids are straight. That's what I did, before my surgery, y'all. This is the schedule, Don. He's supposed to be here, he's supposed to be there.
I didn't get that.
They don't have that.
Oh,
So anyway, I told him, I said, I'm gonna be a basket case, not being able to be there, but
no, I didn't.
that's
No,
what his benefits there for.
all of the letters were capped. So,
Okay, well,
when it didn't work, they
I'll let
tried
you know. Hold on.
each letter separately capped, you know, and it had caps and numbers. I guess Emily's fingers are smaller than mine. Maybe, oh yeah, that can be. The one thing I kept having a problem with was the zero. I kept, my finger wasn't getting onto the zero. Something. Hey, you guys, my health nurse is coming today. What time? 1 o'clock. Clean that stuff up out of the floor. Marva,
Yes.
glad to meet you.
Well, you
haven't
too.
met before. How's everything going for you?
Everything's going just fine. Just
Okay.
fine. I look forward to us actually talking.
Right. I'm not sure if we'd ever whether we could meet one-on-one.
No, not now. Not right now anyway. We'll get there, but we'll talk by phone or something soon. I'll, once I get your contact information.
Okay. And I'm gonna, we moved 2 years ago in here, and all of my old newsletters are still packed up in the garage.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna see if I can find one, or maybe a thumb drive from my old computer.
Okay.
And if I can send you a copy, or send it to you so you can pull it up.
Okay.
It's on Microsoft 365.
All
So
right.
hopefully we can get this group re-energized.
I know.
It's so nice to see so many new faces, though. Okay, well, let's see. 5 more minutes.
Marcy,
Yes.
I think I have some copies of the newsletters.
Do you?
I think I may have some saved on my laptop. I know I have copies here too.
Oh, really good. That would be good. I'm gonna have to find another desktop. I can't stand it. The laptops and tablets. They don't do what I want them to do.
Is that Miranda humming?
You know what? I forgot I needed to mute that.
We heard that beautiful humming.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
How much more time do we have?
5.
For 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, in the interim, Miranda,
Yes, ma'am.
I have pictures and some data, because I always try to document how many attended and so forth from
Yes.
our movie outing and also from our Christmas outing.
Okay.
So from 2019.
Oh, wow.
That would be some historical information.
Okay. That'll be wonderful.
I'll make sure you get that.
Thank you.
People always say have camera will travel when it comes to me, because I'm always taking pictures. But my philosophy is you will never have the same number of people at the same place again.
That is so true. Oh my goodness, that's so true.
So I'll just take pictures all the time.
I do the same thing. People know already when I arrive somewhere, I'm gonna have the camera.
Exactly.
So be ready. Either the camera or the cell phone.
Glennie.
Otis and.
Did she go away?
No, I think she's there.
Hi, Marcy.
Yeah. Now you'll be able to get into the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
We're always taking the pictures and you never appeared in any of them.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, people will know that I'm in the group, right?
I think I have Glennie strutting in the group's t-shirt.
What? What?
When we did the presentation and some of you wore the t-shirts with the cute logo and everything.
No, you did.
I think I have you strutting in that.
No, not a video part, please. No.
Oh, Captain, you would love that, wouldn't you, Captain?
I remember that. Oh, geez, I don't want. No, please.
Make sure you put that one out, please.
No.
I know.
Hush.
And Cecile, your beautiful pictures during your presentation, that just touched my heart. I have that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
When did that occur?
We had a meeting where we did presentations on a component of our research. I can't remember what month it was now.
It was probably the last month that we were there.
It's probably January or February, I think.
And Marcy wasn't there that day.
All right. Well, anyway, that's when it was, Marcy, and it was so nice. And like I said, I just went around snapping, and Cecile had a old picture of, was it your grandmother? Your great-grandmother?
My grandmother and my grandfather when they were about 20. I think they said he was 24 years old on that picture.
Oh, that was such a nice picture too.
Thank you.
And President, I think everybody's back.
Hey. Yep, it's 12:11, so
okay.
We can get back to work. Hi, Jean.
Jerry, would I need to do anything to be able to share a screen? Do you have it set up already?
I have it set up and we can test it just to make sure.
Okay. Want me to go ahead?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Where is it? Safari. I don't want Safari. Files? Is that what it is? No. That's no. Basic. Oh, okay. This no. Whiteboard? No. Jerry, it's not showing. I'm trying to get into my.
On mine share screen, it shows that multiple people can share the screen. That's what I have to do in order to open it up for you.
Okay, but I'm not seeing mine. That's okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see if it's here.
Go to shared screen and then pick what you want. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, but that, okay, I'm on there now. Okay, now I need to now go
Yeah.
over to see if I can get it right. I'm in.
Normally you set those up before your meeting, have all these different screens set up, and then you can go back and forth to the different screens.
Okay, I finally got it. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. This is the grand premiere, first time I'm giving this presentation of my presentation. And so you get a chance to see the very first time. And if I'm lucky, I'm going to give this to other conferences. So this is a conference presentation, okay? So I'm going to break it up a little bit, but it is a whole presentation. And my presence is called Me and My DNA Cousin, and how my DNA cousin helped me find my enslaved ancestors and more. And that's my name, Donnie Smith-Lay. Just a little bit about this. I've been working on finding my enslaved ancestor for about a decade. And I've been working with my cousin, and this is my cousin right here, Cheryl. This is Cheryl. So the story is going to be about myself and Cheryl and how
Denise,
yes.
I'm not seeing what you're pointing out. What I see on my screen, it says Zoom 5.0 is here.
Okay, nobody else see something there? No one sees it?
No, I don't. I'm seeing the same thing.
I
he
just
is.
see a white screen.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
I see Carla,
Yeah,
Don.
I'm seeing what Otis sees.
yeah, we're seeing the same thing. We're not seeing,
Okay, let me see if I can escape this.
Yeah, I didn't see you.
Oh boy. All right, so I'm gonna stop and try it again, okay, Jerry?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. All right. All right, and then, now sure, I should have it opened up first or not opened up first, Jerry?
We'll have to see what
Not sure?
works. Do you have something? Do you have something
Oh,
that?
there it is. Now I see it. Now I see it. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, see you now.
Okay.
okay.
Oh boy. All right. Can everybody see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. All right.
Right.
Okay. So again, this is the grand premiere of this presentation. It is a conference presentation, so it's one I'll be giving at conferences, and it's called Me and My DNA Cousin, and this is my cousin Cheryl, and how my DNA cousin helped me find enslaved ancestors and more, and that is my name, Donnie Smith-Lay. And so my cousin and I've been working with her about a decade now, and this is a story of how I found my enslaved ancestors. And there's beginning lessons that we had. First of all was, in order to do this, we couldn't give up. So we spent a lot of time on this. So we didn't give up. It took us, 4 or 5 years before we got to this point. So don't give up. Another lesson we found out is learning about DNA takes time. So it's a thing, you keep growing, you understand more and more and more. And even as I made this presentation, I learned more. So hopefully when you start this, I hope for you to figure out something new from my presentation. What did you know? A couple of things more, and a couple of things like, I want to go look that up. So that's what I'm hoping you're going to do in this presentation. So I am going to have this presentation in 3 parts. I am running a little bit behind. I did break it up so we could ask questions in between. So we'll see how that works depending on my time. And we'll work on that. So why would somebody want to find their enslaved ancestors? Why would you even want to do that? Well, shine a light on your dark places in your tree. We've got these dark places in our tree that we don't have who those people were. It was taken away from us. Our history was taken away from us. And I feel like if other people can find their ancestors, so should we. So that's one of my feelings. We should be able to do that. And also, you want to find out your ancestry to get the power of the knowledge about you. So that's why I went about doing this. So let's go on. Okay, this is my cousins. These are my cousins right there. That's me right there when I was a little girl. And this is over my grandmother's house. We were all there. And all of you have stories about your cousins and you. These are my first cousins. And here's this funny thing I see right here. Remember back then we only had white dolls. There was nothing else but white dolls. So there's our little dolls here and my cousins there. And you've got memories from your cousins and you know all about your cousins. But in order to find your enslaved ancestors, you're going to have to learn about a new kind of cousin, and that's a DNA cousin. So this is Cheryl and myself and my DNA cousins. So you're going to have to seek them out, find out your DNA cousins. Now, I hope you're going to have a little bit more luck. I found this joke. I thought it was kind of cute. You know, Darth Vader, he was looking for his millionaire cousin, and his name was Tax Evader. Okay, like that one. So, but hopefully you'll have a little bit more fun and a little bit better luck looking for your DNA cousins. But you do have to look for your DNA cousins, and you have to think about them differently. When you think about your family, you know them and everything. So this requires a little bit more thinking when you think, and they are family. So you have to kind of change your idea. Okay, my DNA cousins are my family. So make sure you do that. You're going to expand your knowledge of your family. So DNA cousins, exactly what is DNA? Let's talk about what that is. What is that DNA? People talk about DNA all the time. What is that? Well, it starts off with a cell. You've got all kinds of cells in your body. You probably heard about them: brain cells, lung cells, all kinds of cells. And they've got a nucleus in them. You've actually seen a giant cell, an egg. Uh-oh, this thing went forward. Okay, it went an egg. And I don't know what's happening, it went forward. And so an egg has a nucleus in it, and that has DNA. And in DNA, they have 23 chromosomes. So those are the 23 chromosomes in your body. That's where 23andMe comes from. And Cheryl has that too. So let's go on. So why do we want to look at DNA? Where DNA is stored, your family's history, Cheryl's history, and your history is stored in DNA. Let's look at why. Let's look at this. Okay, pretend this is Cheryl, and this is her father, and this is her mother. Well, you get half of your DNA from your mother and half of your DNA from her father. So if this is Cheryl's DNA right here, Cheryl's father's DNA, that half came down here. Notice it's different parts down here. That's going to be important for us to understand. It got different parts. This is her mother over here, and notice there's different parts right here. And notice this little pink part that she didn't get in that little pink part from here. So let's look at her grandparents. Okay, so the father, so he had these two parts, and the father got that much, and the grandmother got these parts, and the father got that much, and the grandmother had these parts, and they got this much, and the other grandmother. Now Cheryl had a sibling, and notice what happened. The siblings, you don't get the same amount. That's really important to understand, that you don't get the same amount of DNA or the same combination as everybody else. So that's why you need more people to test, because you are unique. And look at this right here. Cheryl did not get this part from the grandmother, but her sibling did. So that's going to be really important to understand why DNA is a little bit confusing, because you don't all inherit exactly the same thing. But even though you don't, you can still use this information, the history in your family, to find out about your family. Now, how does that work? Well, here's Cheryl and her cousin. That's her father and mother and aunt and uncle, and they share an ancestor, the grandparents. Okay, this would be first grandparents. They share grandparents, that would be first. Now, when you're talking about DNA cousins, it's beyond grandparents. It's no longer grandparents anymore. It could be second cousins, it could be third cousins, it could be fourth cousins, but they all share DNA. So I found Cheryl. I took the DNA test way back when they just got started. And we had to scrape our cheeks in order to do the DNA, and we sent it in, and we got the DNA, and I remember getting it. I remember getting my DNA, and I got the information. I saw what my ethnic groups were, and then I looked in my DNA, and I got these people to list. There was a people list. I didn't know who they are. I never knew anything about them. And so I sent this note to this person. And first it was William, and she said, you should find this person, Cheryl. I said, okay, let me go find this person, Cheryl. So I said, Cheryl, I think we're a DNA match. And I said, and I asked her this question because I wanted to know, we share common cousins. And I had heard this story when I was young. The story was that my second great grandfather, Samuel Smith, he was the son of a white slave owner. And I asked her, did she know anything about that? But she wrote me back. She goes, no, I didn't know anything about that because in her family, her grandmother had been orphaned when she was a little girl. And so she didn't know too much about my Smith side of the family. She was really excited to know about my Smith side. I said, okay. So she wasn't able to tell me anything. So, but anyway, now I have this DNA cousin. So exactly what does that mean, a DNA cousin? Well, that means we share centimorgans, the CM. That's what you see over time, the centimorgans. And I'm going to show you exactly what does that look like. So this is from GEDmatch. This is a picture from GEDmatch, where you can go in and get a GEDmatch. And these are actually what it looks like. These are different chromosomes right here. And over here, right there, this is where Cheryl and I match. We actually match right there. That little stretch, we match right there. And we also match at this stretch right here. And I couldn't put more on there. There's actually 3 sections that we actually match at. So that's what that means. We actually have the same DNA at those spots. When I saw that, I go, oh, okay, that doesn't look like much. What does that mean? We match. Well, we're talking about inheriting DNA. And the thing is the closer you are, the more the relationship, the more DNA you share. Well, I'm looking for my 3rd great grandfather. So what does that mean? So let's look what that means. Well, my 3rd great grandfather, he shared half of his DNA with his children, and he shared 25% with his grandchildren, and he shared 13% with his great-grandchildren, 6% with his great-great-grandchildren, and me, I'm a 3rd great-grandchild. He only shared 3%. So I only share that little tiny percent. How am I going to find my 3rd great-grandfather? Look at that little tiny percent. Well, it turns out I was able, with even that little tiny percent, to find out about my 3rd great-grandfather. So Cheryl told me, she said that we were 2nd cousins once removed. That's how the symbol, 2nd cousins once removed. Well, I thought that was really funny. What the heck is 2nd cousins once removed? Okay, well, this is from Ancestry. And so this is Cheryl right here, and this is my dad. So Cheryl and my dad are cousins right here, and that's me. So I'm once generation removed. So that's what that means, once removed. So 2nd cousins once removed. Okay, that makes some more sense when you see it as a picture. Makes more sense there. And then we are sharing with Samuel Smith. That's our relationship. And Cheryl gave me some more information. She gave me all the things she shared. And one of the things she gave me, you can barely see it up here, but this is a marriage license. This is a marriage license of Samuel and Caroline. And it was they got married in 1870, and that's their marriage license. And when I looked at it, I couldn't believe it. There was an X for Samuel Smith and an X for Caroline, which means they couldn't read. And I just like, that was just a gut punch. Oh my goodness, that's my relatives. The slaves were not really able to read. Wow, it just really struck me that the slaves weren't able to read. That was something. So that was the first part of my presentation about understanding DNA. There's a little place to stop here. Was there any questions there about anybody had about DNA? Anybody had any questions? Okay, all right, so I'm going to go on. That was a part about understanding DNA. Now I'm going to go on to a different part here. Now, okay, so I have Cheryl, she's my cousin, and I've got these other cousins. And I'm going to now figure out a way to, organize this information. When you get that list, it's just a long list of people, you don't know who they are. How do I figure out what to do with these people? How do I do anything to this? Well, this is how I'm going to show you how you do something with it. And I told you I was a teacher. I was a math and science teacher. And as a math and science teacher, one of the things I like to do is I would like to show people what they're doing. I didn't like to just say, do this, do that, do this. When I was teaching fractions, I would take out a pizza and say, okay, this is what 1/4 looks like. Or we would use our blocks to figure out things. So I'm going to show you, what does that mean, how we organize things? So this is my why. All right, so this is my DNA cousins that are on GEDmatch. Okay, some people have a little bit of problem with GEDmatch, but nowadays you can go in and you can, they have that police thing going on, but you can opt out of that if you want to. So this is GEDmatch. These are the ones on GEDmatch. So here they are up here, RJ, JL, OC, PC, Cheryl. That's Cheryl, and that's me. And so you see this first cousin, this is one of my DNA cousins. We're gonna go down on this line. We're gonna go across to here, and it's gonna show that, that we share 321 centimorgans, okay? That's gonna be a problem. You're not gonna be able to see this next part, okay? And then now we have other people. So this is JL. If I go down this line right here, okay, he shares 72 centimorgans with OC, 72 centimorgans with PC, 185 with Cheryl, and 125 with me. And then if I go to OC, she shares 3,561 centimorgans with PC, okay? And then she shares 69 with Cheryl, and she shares 111 centimorgans with me. Then if we look at PC, she shares 109 with Cheryl, 119 with B. And then Cheryl shares 60 centimorgans with me. Okay, all right, what does all that mean? Well, when we look at this, you can see that all these people share centimorgans with me. They all share with me. But then they actually don't, some of them share with each other and some of them don't. So then what I did, and you can't see this, but there's a group over here. So I put them into two groups. The first group is this group, just me and RJ. So we form one group, and this other group over here is everybody else. We form another group. So that's how we put people in group. You actually are shared matches. Everybody in that group, in a cluster group, we call them cluster group, matches everyone else in that group. So that's a picture of it. That takes a long time to do that. You don't want to have to do that. So we want to be able to do this a faster way. So how do we do this a faster way? So this is called the leads method. And on the paperwork, you can see this. They'll show you step by step how to do this if you haven't done it before. So I'm just going to briefly tell you about it. So first, what you do is you write down all your second cousins, because you're going to divide this out to see your great grandparents. So all your second cousins, you write them all down on a spreadsheet. You can either do it on a spreadsheet or you can do it on a sheet of paper if you want to. And then what you do is you start off with the first person, which is this RJ, which is the same person, and you mark in everybody that's related to her. So this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, all these persons are all related. So they form one group. They're that group, that blue group. Okay. Then I'm going to show you other people.
Don't tie us.
Oh, this is Cheryl down here. Notice she's not in that group. And then we have other people here. And so this is other groups. So we've got these groups, which you can't see all of them, but these groups all match. Everybody in this group matches, everybody in this group matches. This person, I don't know what it is. This group kind of matches this group, and there's another group right here. So this is a way for you to see how everybody in that group works, because you're gonna only want to work with one group at a time. Now, this is when you've got this long list and you don't know who those people are, this is a little trick I found. Okay, so what I did was, okay, I took the first group, I went through all these people looking for trees. Okay, found somebody with a tree, and I found out, oh, that group here is the Robinson Randolph group. And then I went through those trees and found all the maiden names and first names. So I Taylor, Diggs, and Ford, those are names. So I know when I come up to those names, I know what group it is. So I did that for each of these groups. So this is a trick to do to figure out who are all those people. The people you don't know is because they are they're married names. That's how come you don't know who those people are. Now, there's another way to do this too. It's called auto cluster. Now, if you have 23andMe, or if you have family or MyHeritage, you can do this. It'll do it for you. So you can do this auto cluster for you. And it looks like this. So there's that same JL. And so you put all your information in, you put an auto cluster. And so then these people here, he matches all of these people, not everybody, but he matches these people, and this person matches these people. So this is a group. So this is now your group. And then you can look at these people. This is my Smith group right here, and figure out who they are. Notice they kind of match each other, but they don't necessarily match everybody. And this is another group, this is another group, and another group, another group. Well, I don't know who all these groups are because this is on my GED match. So I'm still working on who all those groups are, because these people are not all on Ancestry. So, and remember on GED match, you get people from all over. So you can do that. But if you have 23andMe or Family Tree or MyHeritage, it'll do this for you too. So if you haven't done it, try it, and then you can change the numbers on it and get smaller groups or whatever your group. So it's really cool. And there's a video on how to do it. Video on how to do it. So look at it. And through lines is a little bit like this, but it's not exactly like this. Okay. All right. So that's the part about organizing your DNA. Any questions on that part? Okay. All right. So once you've organized your DNA, you've got these groups. Now, what do you do with it? Well, this is from Ancestry. And when I was working with Cheryl, when we first started working, we didn't have all these tools. So Cheryl, and it was Cheryl and James and William, and sometimes Rochelle, we would have to email each other back and forth and say, do you have this person? Do you have this person? What did you, how much is that person related to you? How much is yours? And we didn't even have centimorgans in those days. It just said high confidence. So it was really confusing when we first started DNA. So it's a little bit easier now that we have more tools. So now it tells you that we have shared DNA. So see that 60 centimorgans, I showed you that before, and there was 3 segments. So that's what that means. When you go on yours, now you know there's 3 places where you match. You now know that. And then you can now take that now on this, and you can use those colors just like I did that leads method, and I can do different colors and colorize my group. So this is my group of Samuel and Caroline, my second cousins, and I also write that down here. Who that is, and I said second cousins once removed. That helps me because when I don't know somebody, I put all this information in the notes here. So having done that. Now I use the shared matches. When I do a shared match with Cheryl, we have 135 DNA cousins, 135. So that the ones that match Cheryl and I, that's a green, and then these are other groups. So I've been dividing those people into groups using other people.
Denise?
Yes.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the significance of the segments?
The segments, there's nothing significant except that just tells you how many it is. And if you have more than one, you know for sure your match. If it's only one, you may not be, it just may be somebody has exactly you just by coincidence. If it's only one, but if you've got more than one, you know that you're a match. And remember, I showed you that other picture. I match at this spot. I match at this spot on different chromosomes. That's what that means.
And the closer you are, the more segments that you match.
Correct. That is absolutely correct. You are right. Okay.
Well, okay. Why? Look on yours. Look at this. It says longest segment. Mm-hmm. What is significant of that? Out of those three segments, there's one of them that is 49 centimorgans. Is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. That's what that says there. Now I looked this up just in case somebody had it. The reason why this has nothing to do with us, but sometimes people have these families where they have a lot of cousins marrying cousins. Oh. You got a whole bunch of cousins. So this has something to do with this when you need to figure out, is this a person that's close to you or not? If you've got a family where there's people marrying each other. So that's what that's for. That's why Ancestry put that there. Otherwise it's not useful. Okay, you asked me. I'm glad I looked it up. Okay, so I've got this information. I've used my tools, and okay, but I'm still trying to find my second great grandfather, my third great grandfather. Okay, so I actually went to North Louisiana to see about my family. I went there. And just before I left, the group was working together. We were collaborating, we were giving things. And Cheryl sent me this note. She goes, you know what? I bet my paycheck that our third great grandfather was named Granville, this person we're looking for, because we all had somebody in our family named Granville. And so then we suddenly found this information in this book called No Lands, Only Slaves. And there's a listing in it in my notes, look for that. And it was a bill of sale. And we found this bill of sale, and on the bill of sale, we found Samuel, who's my second great grandfather, his brother, Meriwether, and we found this Granville, and he was a really old guy, and we were looking at him and go, okay, is this person, is he the father or was he the grandfather? We didn't know. So that was our next problem to figure it out. So we're going to use something else to figure that out called the predicted relationships. Now the predicted relationships you see up here, these are not always correct. See, Cheryl and I are second cousins once removed, and it says we're 4th to 6th cousins. It just so happens, we'll explain why is that? That's kind of strange. Well, centimorgans and relationships tell you something, they hint to you something, but they're not always exactly right. So normally if you're second cousins, you share about 227 centimorgans, but it could be a range between 33 and 592. It's just by chance how much it is. So if you have a second cousin, for sure, you're going to share some DNA. Okay, and then they're going to lead us. Okay, if that's going to lead us, that was great grandparents. If it's third cousins, there were around 72 centimorgans. Now, the interesting thing about that is it's 0 to 244 centimorgans. That means you do not share with all your third cousins. So there's 0 sometimes. So you don't actually share with all of them. And if you've got third cousins, that's going to lead you to great or second great grandparents. Now I'm looking for somebody who would be my fourth great grandfather, and they share around 35. But again, it could be 0 to 166 centimeters to give you fourth cousins, and they point to third great grandparents. So these numbers give you some hint of what it's going to be, but not necessarily what it's going to be. So let's go on. Let me show you what we actually found out. Now, so how did I find this out? Well, I started looking at cousins. I looked at the cousins of the family. Okay, this is the 1880 census of my family, 1880. And there's my second great grandfather, Samuel, and there's his wife, Caroline. Remember we saw the wedding, and there's a Granville. There's one of the Granvilles. And then here's his brother, Meriwether. And then we found out the wife's name was Eliza, and there's Eliza and Eliza. So these guys are cousins. So I started looking at cousins. And this is one of the things I found when you start looking around on your censuses. I found these Smiths a page before and a page after in the 1880 and the 1870 census. So make sure you look for your family through all those places before and after we found people. And then this person right here, his name was John Carr Garner. I found out he was friends with the family. How do I know that? Well, there was a court case with my family. And in the court case, I have a document that says that he had been friends with the family until, since they were born. So when you look at these pages on your census, know that they knew each other. They were friends. So you're looking for them, you're looking for friends. And this other Smith right here, this is a second cousin. This guy right here is their nephew. So these people are all there, and I've looked at other places and found this to be the same too. So I took this information and I made it into something I call a Smith-Blade chart. Okay, on this Smith-Blade chart, I took all this information and put it all in one place. It takes a long time to do this, but some interesting things came out. Okay, so this is Granville Eliza. Here's the kids right here, all the kids. This is the time, what was going on. And then what I did for each person, here's my second great grandfather, Samuel. These are his sisters and brothers. And then each one, I put down the year that they were born, Robert, and then the place. So these were born here. And for each person, so each person in the family, I put it down. And then this is just from 1880. So in 1880, I was looking at the census and I found out who was together. So these people were all together. These people right here in this other color were all together. This group was together, and this group right here was not there in 1880. And so when we got together with my DNA cousins, we found out that this group of people was a family, and he had information. He knew who the slaveholder was, which was Gilmer. He knew who that was, and he had a diary. And so from that diary, we found out that the family had been split apart and gone to Morehouse. And when we met, we found these names. Look at this name, Meriwether and Granville. So when you start look at all the cousins, look at everybody, look for those names. Look at these names, Granville, Eliza, Granville, Eliza, Granville, Eliza, Granville, Eliza. I didn't see that until I made this like that to see, until I, put it all out for me to see. I'm like, wow, look at that name. Okay, pretty sure that was the right name. But just in my family, I didn't know that. So that was kind of cool. And I've done this several times with other parts of my family. The same thing popped out. People popped out, names popped out over and over again. And they kind of named their family that way when they were enslaved to keep up with that. So I figure all these people out. These are the people who are the brothers and sisters up here. So now I know all these people. And now I went about finding the DNA cousins. So on here, everywhere you see a little star right there, that's a DNA cousin that I have. Every time you see one, that's a DNA cousin. And so I took that information and I put it into this chart that I'm going to show you in just a second. So again, I didn't find from everybody. Okay, so here's my second great grandfather, Samuel. I didn't find anybody from William. William, who was his twin, he had a twin and Handy, but I did find DNA cousins for all these people. And then we found out Lucy Ann over here, she was only a half sibling. So that's going to be important when we looked at this. She's only a half sibling. So these are all of his brothers and sisters. And one other thing I found out when I was doing this is you have to kind of put yourself in their shoes and kind of have a story of what's going on in their lives in order to figure this out. It's not just names on papers. You've got to like understand them. So this is from my book that I wrote about this thing that I did. And what happened was the Gilmer family, I told you it was a Gilmer family. They started off in Georgia. So Jack and Lucy Ann and Eliza and Granville, they were all born in Georgia. And then the Gilmer, he took the family to Alabama. So Austin, Meriwether, and all these guys were all born in Alabama. I knew that by looking at what the family said their father was on the census. And then after that, they went to Louisiana. So that was information I had that information by looking it up. So here's the story that I wrote about when they went from Alabama to Louisiana. I can imagine their journey. A 45-year-old Eliza had to keep an eye on her energetic Jane, her 5-year-old daughter, her son Handy, and the growing twins who were 8 years old. And wherever Jack was, he was 23, while Austin and Meriwether were 16 and 17-year-old teenagers. Grander's older daughter, Lucy Ann, was in her 30s, and she had to tend to her 2 babies, but perhaps she helped the family. So when I got an idea of how old everybody was and what was going on, it was really helpful for me to make sense of what's going on in the family. So you need to like take a point, take a time, and kind of find out what were they doing? How is their life like ours? It was kind of interesting to do that. So, okay, what does that tell me? All right. So this is Samuel right here. And these are some groupings. And I got these groupings from the shared CMA, from the DNA painter. Okay, so these, once you see it, it's like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. So these are my second cousins right here. And there's the numbers. Remember, about 232. So there's my second cousin, CM. And second cousins, we'll remove. And there's Cheryl right there. And here's my third cousins. And look at that. Those numbers are all over the place. These are all third cousins. I know these are third cousins from genealogy. I can actually know the family. So by looking at their numbers, see how the numbers are not quite the same. So you have to know that they're not so nice to tell you about, they tell you, but they're not exactly. So these are the numbers that tell me, okay, for sure there's going to be a second cousin. These are going to be, third cousins maybe. I have to look them up. So now I'm going to show you what fourth cousins look like, because that's what I was looking for. So these people up here, when I look at fourth cousins, that's going to be the families of these people up here are going to be my fourth cousins. Okay. And that's what that looks like. Okay. These are my fourth cousins. The numbers are around 32. These are the fourth cousins. So when you see a fourth cousin, what does that mean? That means that fourth cousin is related to some uncle of somebody in your family. That's what that means. You're not on a direct line. That's when a fourth cousin. And then we're all related up here. So these are fourth cousins. So this was so interesting for me to see this. So this is fourth cousins. Now, remember Lucy Ann was a half cousin? Look what happens to those numbers. Yes.
Could that be an uncle or an aunt?
Yeah, yeah, it would be uncle and aunt, but way up, way up. That's what those are.
When you said
cousins, yes.
they're related as an uncle, they could also be related as an auntie too.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yes. And so these are, that's what you're looking at. And see these numbers over here when you have these small numbers right here? That's because it's a half a family. So when you've got a half cousin in there, that the numbers go half. So it makes it even harder to figure it out. And so when I had all these fourth cousins here, that told me that Granville and Eliza were my third great grandfather and not fourth. The numbers told me that. And so that's what was helpful for me to do that. In my notes, if you look, there's an article that I had about how I figured that out. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. All right. Now, not only did I want to know about my family, and some of you, when I was listening to you, talked about your family too. I wanted to know more about my family than just this information. So once I had all these cousins, I looked up patterns in the family, tendencies in the family. And also what I did was I sent a survey to different people in my family, see what their feelings are. I heard somebody said that they're into statistics too. So I actually sent a survey to my family and asked them about the values are down here. And this is how it came out. So I was asking them, okay, which of these things were more important to you? And it was actually a survey that they took. They didn't know they were doing. It was a survey. And so all the people in the family came out with this self-direction. That was their top value, was self-direction. What is that self-direction? Well, that's being independent. I'm like, oh yeah, that is me. That is totally me. I was always this person that's going to be like, I do my own thing. And when I was growing up, I was a math major. I took math when girls didn't do that. And I just did my own thing. And I also found out in my family that I had 2 lines of my family that actually went and lived in all Black towns. They didn't know each other, but they lived in all Black towns. So there was this idea in my family that you want to be independent, you do everything, you go against the grain. So that was really interesting to find that out. And I call that my family superpower. So, so if you can find out in your family superpower, that's going to be interesting. So finally, I'm getting toward the end of this. So one of the last things I did was, this is from Dead Match. There's some new things you can do. And this is this right here. This is Cheryl. And each one of
her aunts or cousins was a midwife.
And this is this all matches. These match the first person. And then this person right here is from that. Remember I told you that line? It's only half a person. Okay, so this is only a half person and half the family. She only matches Granville. And this person matches Granville Eliza. So this little section right here where they overlap right there.
$15 or 5?
That is Granville's DNA. I have found the only Granville's DNA, because most of the time the DNA is from both the father and the mother, both of them. So that's my little fight. I found my Granville. That was one of my things I wanted to do in my presentation, was to find my Granville and his DNA. So Cheryl and I finally got together. We went to see each other. She lives in Chicago. So I went to go see her, and we still talk, and we still back and forth. We have information, and we had deep dish pizza from Chicago there, and we still talk, and we had a good time. And she and I have been working together ever since. So when you get to know your DNA cousins, they get to make your family bigger. Okay. And so I'm hoping that Cheryl helps you understand a little bit about your DNA, what happens with your DNA. I hope I use that to help you to show how to organize your DNA with the Leeds method. And if you want to, you can look online to see it step by step. I explain it fast. We want to do it slower to figure that out. And I also I inspired you to want to look for your enslaved ancestors, the one way back, because when you start to find out about them, they were amazing people. And so I know it's kind of scary and kind of rough to think about them, but they were amazing people. And this is from my book that I wrote about how I found it. And in my book, I have information about how I found it. I have in the back, I have things you can do to help you and find your information. So hopefully you might want to check out my book if you want to. And also there's lots of African-American history in there. When you need to know the African-American history in order to know what's going on in your family. And if you haven't looked at your notes, I had you this little chart that tells you the African-American history so you know what's going on. So that's my presentation. And I hope that I inspired you to understand your DNA better, to organize your DNA and use your DNA to find your enslaved ancestors. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sharing that. Did it go off?
Ms. Flanagan.
Yes. Hi. Hi, how are you?
Doing fine. You seen my new patch for my eyeglasses?
I love it.
Margaret, you're on mute, I think.
I didn't.
Margaret, I think you're on mute.
Okay.
Did anybody have any questions for Donnie's? And did everybody get the handouts? I emailed her handouts.
Yes, received.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
Fantastic presentation.
Yes,
Thank
it was. Thank you.
Thank you.
No questions?
No, I was just going to say, Donnies, you did a wonderful job. Great detail. I look forward to getting to that point with my research. My goodness, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
I bought
anybody
the
want
book.
any help anytime, I'm willing to help anybody.
Okay. So did anybody else have anything you wanted to share before we close out? Again, Jerry, thank you very much for hosting this Zoom meeting. Jerry's gone.
No, I'm here.
Oh,
Hey, there's a time to talk and there's a time to kick back.
well, thank you very much. You've been very gracious doing this. We really, really appreciate it. And we really appreciate it, and I thank you.
Very, very
I
good
think-
meeting today.
Yes.
We still have a lot to go. We get region,
Yes.
I should say
Well, one of my main purposes for doing this is to see the joy on each one of your faces. You know, it's pretty emotional. You know, you all have done so much together over the years, and this pandemic has separated you. And I'm blessed to have this tool, and I wanted to share it and to see how happy you are to see Marcia, for example. It's pretty, it's heartwarming. And then for some of you who weren't technically savvy with this here platform, now you're up to speed. So it's gratifying.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Can we sing happy birthday to the birthday girl?
Okay, you lead us.
Oh, I don't sing.
Okay.
Lisa's 29. This is her third time.
Okay.
Marty, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
This is Marva. Yesterday, I attended a Zoom call on a conversation on reparations. Are you aware that this is an ongoing plan to be worked on? It was sponsored by the Union Tribune, but the presenters were Shirley Weber, Luke Wood, John Tatetsky.
Yeah.
You're familiar with that?
Yes, I think I shared some information in an email that we received on that.
Oh, okay.
But
okay. It was very, very good. Very good.
Really?
And I just didn't know that that this was being worked on, you know, at the state level.
Right.
And Dr. Weber said that California is actually the state that's leading the way, even though there is a bill that's passed the US House. But anyway, like I said, it was just very informative. It was only an hour, but so much was packed into it. So that's something that I think we as a group and people should be on top of. It's not necessarily about physical money being handed to people, but different programs and processes that would certainly be beneficial to African Americans.
Right. Okay, thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
And I did have some information on that. I'll try to get that back out to everybody. And in the meantime, we're going to be looking at a different site that we could go to communicate, and we'll try to get that set up as soon as we can.
Okay.
Let me add one comment to what Marva said. I thought I heard her just say that there was a bill from the U.S. government on reparations. Is that what you said?
There's a bill that's passed, but the Senate isn't going to take it up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That bill has not passed. It wasn't passed.
Oh, I thought it was passed.
No,
It's been generated.
it's been presented for the last 30 years. It
Yes.
never gets out of the House.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That's at the federal level, right?
Right.
That's correct.
Yeah,
That's
right.
correct.
Federal. Yes.
Now, one of the things that I'm working on right now, I just started, is called the Sons and Daughters of the Middle Passage. And I'm going to be using my second great grandfather, the one I just talked about, and I have to go through and document that he is actually enslaved. So I'm working on that right now.
Yeah.
So, and once you get that, you get a certificate. It's something like DARS, like the Daughters of the Revolution, but this is called the Sons and Daughters of the Middle Passage. And so I'm in the process of getting all the paperwork together. It's a little tricky how to prove for sure that he was enslaved. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Mhm.
Okay, does anybody else have anything else to share?
Yes, Denise, as you navigate through that process, will you share that information? I have documentation that my great 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 grandfather was enslaved. Part of me was the product of a slave owner.
Mhm.
And I'd like to be able to see if I could document that through that same process.
Okay. I'll send the thing to the website to Marty. You guys can look at it.
Okay, one of the organizations that I belong to that I had to prove the lineage back to a slavery, I had to start with myself. I had to produce birth certificates, death certificates, naming all the way back to that person. So that was how I was able to substantiate my relationship with the slave ancestor. And that's probably the same about what you'd have to do is with birth certificates, death certificates, merit certificates, baptismal, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm having to do.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, if anybody else have anything else, if not, the meeting is adjourned and we'll see you.
Hold it.
Oh,
Hold
I'm
it.
sorry. Okay.
Hold it for a minute.
Okay.
We want to move forward. What is next? When will we have our next meeting? We had thought that we might have 2 meetings in November in order to handle that election information, but we were able to do it all today. So we just want to get some kind of idea. Between now and the next meeting, will the board be meeting in some kind of way? And I'm available to facilitate that if y'all need to get, circle the wagons and get your information before our next full meeting, Madam President.
Oh, okay. Well, one thing that we're going to work on, Glennie's going to get the bylaws out, and I want to get that out to everybody so everybody would have a copy of the bylaws. And that's something we have to just go over, probably the executive board to go over the bylaws to see if we do need to make changes for things that we've done. One of the main things that we need to work on is getting another site set up, whatever it's going to. You and Otis, I think said that you would work on that to see which would be the best site that we should.
Along with you.
Okay, that's fine. So once we get that set up, we can get an agenda for what we're going to do, and December, we usually have a Christmas party, but that's kind of impossible. But I'm going to try to come up with something that, you know, we could do. And I'm taking ideas. If anybody have any ideas of what we could do for the holidays.
I, I, I have one, Madam President.
Mhm.
I, 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 I feel it'd be a good gesture to give to the, have a donation and give to a charity or give it to someone else, but like each member contribute and have a certain amount of money that we can give to somebody else from our organization to show that we have organized, and you know, whatever sources that we do come up with funds, that's like seeds. It's like the mustard seed principle. It just has a form of action instead of the gift sharing and that kind of thing, something on that line. That's my suggestion.
Okay, one of the organizations, well, we do sponsor Malcolm X Library. We have gave them monetary donations and stuff before. And I think if we do anything, yeah, I would like to do it for Malcolm X because it is in our area and it's serving you know, the area over here, our children. And a lot of times they have been nice to us in the past where, you know, we used to have our meetings and stuff there, but we still try to go and do our Black History meetings there when we can. But we've donated a number of things to them, you know. So if we do, I would like to do it to something like a library where a lot of people will benefit from it.
Oh, another topic on that same message. It would behoove us to have a number of DNA kits. That's something that is, you know, I know Marcia, you had some concerns about where our monies go and that we have to distribute the money. But our agents, our group, it would be, that could be a good purpose for us to have a kit. We're always have a kit. It's on sale for $59 now, for example. But if we have kits, we can use that as being mentors to, hey, we want to share this. Some people don't have the resources that we've been blessed with. And for us to get a kit, start somebody off and bring them into, you know, our cluster.
We have had DNA kits before that we donated, that we raffled off and stuff. So, and those were donated. We haven't asked for any donation. Usually when we ask for donations, we could buy some too, but we ask for donations in the past whenever we had an event, and we've always had like DNA kits and other materials that are genealogical related. I think our last kit, Glennie won.
I won and Milton won one too.
Milton won one too?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how did you use it, Captain?
I had my DNA done, and that was my first DNA test I had. That was with the family tree DNA. And Milton had one from the African DNA.
Oh yeah, that's an expensive one.
Yeah, that's the expensive one. Yeah.
But there is such a downfall though, because it only goes through like one side. You remember, this was just sort of at the beginning when we first started.
Yeah.
Well, those are some things that, you know, when you get to with the board, you know, y'all can come up with some things, but you know, those are just some ideas that I have.
Yeah.
Here's another idea. So what about if we did like, we share like a Merry Christmas to a family member, somebody in your family tree. So you just like tell the story about what Christmas really like that person in your tree, something about that.
Oh, that's an idea.
And this would be what, Denise, this would be us talking about a family member that's had the DNA done, or how do you
No,
mean?
just anybody. I mean, so fundamentally, if you just go back in your tree and find somebody that you would like, what would Christmas be like for that person? And so a little bit more history to look up. Okay, if you're in Mississippi, what was it like in Mississippi to have Christmas in the 1840s or the 1940s or whatever? So a little bit of research to find out about that person and your family and what was Christmas like for that person. Or maybe somebody knows in your family, like
Wow.
Christmas stories from your family.
Another idea is it's on the line of, you had the gift exchange. Oh, that's a surprise. Oh, you guys would always have these gift exchanges, correct? Maybe at our next meeting we can all give our JED match numbers on our group, have our JED matches, and then we'll see how our JED matches matched with everybody here, or if they even match.
Well, I've done that, and Lisa and I are cousins. Lisa and I got together on Jet Match. I went through and saw her name, and I said, "Oh my God, we're related." So that's an idea too.
And that's a simple one. And that depends on if people, for those who are on Jet Match, and if they're not, there's some considerations. But if you are on Jet Match, we can put that all in a hat and kick it around and see, oh, is that what it is?
You know what? If anybody in the group that is researching their family, they should get on there because it gives them more matches.
Yeah, as part of our membership list, that might be one item that you want to have on there, your JED Match kit numbers. That's how it is with my Moss Genealogy and Research Group. We have
okay, yeah, that is an idea.
Yeah, we do have our JED Match numbers, and we use that as a tool for connecting.
Yeah.
I have a question. Does anyone know how to generate enough saliva for one of these?
I didn't hear you, Marcy.
I can't get my DNA done because I haven't been able to generate enough saliva.
Oh,
That's done. I thought I had discovered a way, but it didn't work as well as I wanted it to.
Marcy, I would suggest you get in touch with the company.
I already have.
And they didn't help?
Nope, they couldn't. They don't do the cotton ball swipes anymore, the cheap thing.
But they didn't give you a suggestion how to make more saliva?
Everything that I've already tried, lemons and pickles and things, but you're not supposed to have the food.
Well, I suggest you put a picture of something you really, really like to eat in front of you.
Brilliant, Glennie. Brilliant.
You have to think outside the box,
Glenn is good at that.
Yeah.
Do a Pavlov's test. And Marty, this is Marva, and I suggest that a minimum we wear to the next meeting, we wear red or something Christmassy, the ugly sweater or whatever, but something at least holiday.
I was going to suggest that.
What date is the next meeting?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a date for the next meeting?
That's on Saturday, right?
Margaret, you're muted.
It's December 13th, I believe.
December 13th.
I'm sorry.
Is it December 13th?
Yeah, it's November now. God, I'm losing track of time. I'm really losing track of time.
That's the
No,
second.
December the 12th.
It would be 12th.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right, 12.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to wear the Christmas sweaters, okay?
I might not have Christmas sweater. I just might wear some red.
Yeah, something festive anyway.
How come you're not going to be like that?
I don't have a Christmas sweater.
I'm the captain. You have to.
I do not. I do not.
Yes, you do.
You're not the boss of me.
Yes, I am. Jerry, tell her.
Hey, when there's a cat fight, I stay my ass out of it.
Told you that wasn't gonna work. You making her captain.
I'm going to get my cap next time. I don't care what you say.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay, is there anything else?
No.
No.
are
Okay.
we still gonna sing happy birthday to Miss Lisa?
Oh,
Yes.
that's right. That's
yeah.
right.
Happy birthday to
To
you.
you.
Happy birthday
birthday
to you. Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear
Lisa.
Lisa.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Yay.
How many more? 24. You all have a nice weekend.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, where do I?
Please sign out.
We've had a productive meeting, covered all topics. It's really nice to get together and connect and move this club forward together. Peace. Cheer. It's all good. It's all God.